What's up, guys? Tim Little, Matt Allen. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin, and welcome back to another holiday buyer's guide. Today we are talking about rod and reel combos under $500.
We are so excited to have arrived at that $500 mark. Now, we did open that with under $500. We should probably say there's a little wiggle room there. We're going to do our best to stick around that $500 mark. We might get a little bit out of it here towards the end, but we're excited to be here because we had to skip the $400 combos this year just to make it all fit. But $400 combos, $500 combos, high end, that's where we live the majority of our personal fishing, right? That's what a lot of our gear is. Now, we fish it all intentionally so that we can have educated opinions from, you know, a $30 reel all the way on up. But this is where we naturally spend a lot of our time. So we have some pretty deep-seated opinions here, you know, specific favorite models. This is really good stuff. We're super comfortable with all of it right down the line. This is going to be fun. You want to kick us off?
Absolutely. Yeah, he mentioned models. Down below in the video description, a lot of these rods we're going to talk about, they have entire lines. So down below in the video description, we will link our favorite models and whatever else they can be used for, whatever different techniques. So, sure. Start off with spinning, like we always do. This is the Daiwa Tatula Elite AGS. This is one of their higher end rods. Comes with the carbon fiber AGS guides. Super light, super sensitive. This is the 7.3, so it's an all-around rod. So you can fish your shaky heads, you can fish your lighter Texas rigs, your small swim baits. And then I went and paired that up with the Daiwa Pro Scion. You guys probably saw this in yesterday's video. Air bail, again, light. This combo is super sweet. Paired that up with braid. Haven't had any issues with the braid deleter on these guides. There is some recommendations to do differently, but we haven't seen any issues.
Haven't had a single issue.
And we've caught a ton of fish with it. So this guy right here is an awesome combo, and it doesn't break the bank.
You want to hand me that next one?
Sure.
What we're doing here today, so we've got 3 spinning models for you, and we're kind of working our way up in price, and then 2 BFS models, even though we did a dedicated BFS buyer's guide. If you missed that, you should go back and find that one. But we thought we would put a couple of those in because, again, this is that price point where we fish a lot. And then we've got 5 bait casters for you. And then, like Tim said in the video description, like every buyer's guide, we'll link everything in the order that we talked about it for you. We'll also give you our favorite models. But what we're going to do differently in this one is below that, with whatever space is left at the bottom of that description, we're going to take some of our most versatile, specific models from all these brands. You know, it might be that X-Pride 7.2 ML, favorite blade bait rod, but also amazing for BFS flipping, throwing long-range Kitex, right? We'll give you some of those most versatile, specific models and what we personally use them for, where you can get a rod that will do a lot of different things. Because again, this is a price point where we spend a ton of time, and we can really drill down and give you those key, out of each line, those key models.
Yeah, these all are great lines in their entirety, but there are some key models that we really love and stand by.
For sure. So next up, from Shimano, the X-Pride line. If you've watched any buyer's guide we've ever done, probably, we arrive at X-Pride. X-Pride rods, bang for the buck, are out of this world. The lightweight, the durability, the sensitivity for its price is insane. The X-Prides they price several $100s under where they fish. They fish like a rod that's in the mid-4s, but they're just in the mid to high 2s. They're really remarkable rods. That's paired up to a Shimano Vanford, which is in the finesse line of reels with Shimano, which makes it an incredibly lightweight reel as well. The combo, again, we're talking about something that shoots completely out of its price point. Insanely light, insanely sensitive. For the guy that wants to experience ultra high-end but doesn't want to blow $700, $800, $900, $1,200, right?
Yeah.
For a combo, this is experiencing ultra high end without the insane price tag. They're just remarkable rods.
Yeah, we can't say enough good things about that entire X Pride line. There's so many rods in that. I mean, I could go rig my entire fishing tackle, you know, just everything I use on just straight X Prides. They have so many awesome models, and like Matt said, the price doesn't match the quality or where they should be.
Right.
All right, next up, got the Orochi, Megabass Orochi. This is the double X series. Again, just like the X Prides, they're higher end than the price point that they should be in.
Yep.
Or that they're in. They should be a little bit higher, but that you're getting that true Japanese kind of finish work. Again, that Megabass line is just a super high quality. Again, real light, real sensitive. Just like the X Prize, we have our favorite models. This one specifically is the Ronin, a little bit shorter. Spinning rod is an awesome little jerkbait rod. You can do a lot of things with it. But just like Matt, went ahead and paired that up with a Vanford as well. Again, it's in that finesse line, so it's smooth, buttery smooth, no play in the handle. And again, the durability is there. So if you're looking for a different brand, if you're looking for a Megabass, this combo right here is a really good combo.
All right, from there, we're going to jump it on up. Well, not really jump it up. We're crossing over. We're crossing over to BFS, to bait finesse. That is the same category, right? Finesse fishing, but now we're doing it with bait casters. If you're not familiar with BFS yet, we have there's a plethora of videos that can teach you about that. We're not going to jump into it today. But today, bait finesse, BFS reels have come so far that you truly can do all your finesse applications with a bait casting setup. So we grabbed two, and these two are super universal rods, and that's why we went with them. This one is from Cashin in their Icon series. This is the 610 medium light, and this is one of my all-around favorite bait finesse rods. When somebody's asking, you know, I just want to grab one so I can experience the bait finesse thing, this is one of the two rods that I point to. The Icon medium light, you're looking, it'll do it all. It'll throw treble hooks, it'll throw soft baits, but for me, this rod leans to the soft bait side. So when you're seeing us throw Ned rigs, little Kitex, the micro Texas rigging that we talk about all the time, all that stuff, throwing tiny wacky worms, this is where I lean. And then again, I can still put little treble hook baits on it, but I really enjoy the soft bait side of this rod. And then that's, of course, paired up with a Corrado BFS. Both of these are going to be.
Yeah, on the flip side, like Matt said, these are both super universal BFS rods. This is the X Pride line. This is the 6.8 light. So this one kind of leans towards your, I mean, this rod can do it all as well. This one kind of leans towards more of your softer plastics. This was the bait, or this is the rod that's more towards your hard baits. So you're like your little karashis or your little jerk baits, little top waters. Again, paired up with the Corrado BFS, braid to leader, straight braid, straight fluoro, depends on the technique, but these combos are awesome. And those of you guys that aren't familiar with BFS, definitely look into it because it will definitely change your fishing game.
All right, with that, we're going to cross over into the more traditional casting lines. First one up from St. Croix, and we're staying like right at the price point here. This is a true $500 combo. And we should mention, the reason we held these videos to the very, very end of the Buyer's Guide series is because Tackle Warehouse has a sale right now on their rods. And we wanted to get you that information at a time where you could save some money. So the rods themselves are on sale. So even the ones that are a little out of price, they're cheaper than they would be at other times. And you can still get them shipped in time for Christmas. So going back to this, the St. Croix Legend Tournament line of rods. These rods were completely redesigned last year. And frankly, I liked the old Legend tournaments. I've got some that are 10, 15 years old. Fantastic rods, but the new rods are amazing. It's a giant line of rods. I mean, there's so many models, it would confuse the guy who designed them. There's so many of them. But there are some rods in there that are just incredible. The Carbon Cranker comes to mind. It's a rod that I have fallen in love with But there's a lot of really good models in that line. And again, we'll link you 1 or 2, maybe 3 favorite models for every one of these lines before we even get into those versatile rods. Now, I've got this paired up, the Daiwa Tatula SVTW, which is just a fantastic all-around reel. I've had this paired up all year, this combo here together, and it's been an extremely comfortable combo to fish. The pairing is just very, very natural, and I really like that overall setup.
There's so many cool technique-specific rods in that lineup. Yeah, like you said, the designer went crazy on the different models. All right, next up, already talked about it in spinning, but the Megabass Orochi Double X series. This is, I didn't mention it earlier, but you get that Megabass fit and finish, but you get some actions that are a little bit different than some of the other brands. So yeah. You guys know that we love the brailess. Matt talks about that all the time as our favorite jig rod. There's some standouts in this line, but you get some different actions that really are technique specific and are really cool. So a little bit slower in the midsection. This is the Extreme Mission Type F. This is a great rod as well, but the entire Orochi line is it's top of the line. And then went ahead and paired this up with a Corrado 150 MGL. Anytime you add the MGL spool into these reels, it's like you're jumping up a price point or two. You can straight send these baits. I was completely blown away by these reels. Any of the MGLs, like I said, have just been super smooth. But again, it's not ultra high end as far as price point, but it kind of fishes.
But it is ultra high end.
It fishes in that ultra high end combo.
Yeah, tomorrow we're jumping into the ultra high end stuff, the true just enthusiast, crazy high end combos. But there are techniques. That jig rod was a perfect example. My all-around jig rod, pitching jigs, flipping jigs. I don't care what the price point is. That Orochi Double X is our favorite. It's incredible. It doesn't matter if you go out and spend twice as much money. I have not found a better action to date. They're really remarkable rods. And like Tim said, the MGLs just notch it up from there. All right, back to that X-Pride line. Here we go again. Everything that we already said is true. They're insane. And again, we're going to get to some of those models in the video description. This is, in fact, that 7.2 ML that I specifically singled out. But that X-Pride line, incredibly light, incredibly sensitive. When they went to the X-Pride B, which was an update to the line a couple years ago, they went to the monocoque handle. And that really added to the sensitivity and the transmission of vibration in this rod. The first time I saw it, I wasn't sure because they're like a rigid handle. And I wasn't sure how that was going to go. I was afraid that they'd be slippery when they got wet. We've now put years on them. I love the B compared to the A that we were already madly in love with. They're not slippery at all. They're super comfortable. There's so much transmission of vibration. The sensitivity is amazing. This particular one is paired up to that Corrado 70, again, MGL. That Corrado 70 and that Corrado 150, it's a size difference, right? Smaller spool, larger spool. It's just line capacity. But those MGL spools will take any rod and just bump them up a notch because your distance, your ability to reach farther, to reach out and touch fish in open water, or to reach a piece of cover from farther away, it's a tangible difference, and it's absolutely worth the spend for a guy who can afford it.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up for us is going to be the Envy line of rods by 13 Fishing. This is a line of rods that we started playing with a couple years ago and have been completely blown away with or by. The 13 line, we've played with some of the budget stuff. We played some of the middle of the line price point rods, but this guy right here, ultra sensitive and extremely light. I've been, like I said,
crazy good.
Yeah, crazy good. Great way to put it. Paired up with this is a 13 Fishing Concept C2. You guys have heard us talk about this now for a couple years. If ultra light. You know, you're down in like that 5-ounce range, right? Give or take a little bit. So if you're looking for a combo that is extremely light and is not priced like it's, you know, like the competition in that same weight class, this is an awesome combo. Again, that entire Envy line is great. They have some good jig rods. They got some little bit longer rods. But again, if you're looking for some shorter, lightweight, like flipping, light drop shot on a bait caster, blade bait, all that sort of stuff, we'll link our favorite, you know, models down there for the techniques in the video description. But this guy right here, when you pick it up, it is extremely light, extremely sensitive. Been blown away by that 13 fishing combo.
That Concept C2, it's just, for its weight, it's several $100s less than similar weight reels. It's just a fantastic way, again, just like some of these others, to experience that next step without taking that huge leap up in price. Now, last but not least, speaking of a little hop up in price, we're fudging it a little bit. We're moving up here towards that $600 mark for the last combo. But again, it's timed with a sale on purpose. This last one is the G Loomis IMX Pro line of rods. The IMX Pros are insane. There are, we've talked about full lines of rods, right? There's a full line of cranking rods. There's a full line of swim bait rods. There's flipping rods, frog rods, spinnerbait rods, dedicated small paddle tail rods, chatterbait rods, and that's before you get into the standard line of rods. But for Tim and I, in IMX Pro, some of the outliers are the really special models, right? Favorite chatterbait rod, favorite lipless rod, favorite rod for throwing our tactical crank, speed cranking, favorite swim bait. Did I say swim bait rod already? I mean, truly, some of our favorite rods of all time are in that lineup because they're very unique actions, very dialed for very specific circumstances. You're not picking up a Loomis 855 CBR and throwing a lipless and a 10XD on the same rod. You're not doing it. This is a lipless rod. Little bit of crossover into square bills if you wanted to do a couple of things, but they truly built a proper lipless rod. They build other rods for those other things. But so for the guy who truly wants to dial it in and have the best at some of those techniques, you're not going to beat that combo. Again, paired up to that Corrado 70 MGL. This is literally my lipless combo, and a combo that I really enjoy fishing. And with that, we wrap up the rods, the combo portion of this video. Again, in the description with whatever is left, there's going to be more information in the description than in the video. So it's really important. If you're on our website, if you're on tacticalbassin.com, just scroll down, it's right there. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you need to figure out how to open the description, but I assure you it is there. You might have to click the 3 little dots. You might have to scroll down, click more, open that up, scroll down, click more again, then you get the whole description. But it is there. We'll link all these favorite models in the lines, and then again, with whatever is left over, we're going to run through those lines. We'll compare notes and pick the most versatile models out of those lines, and we'll give you the key technique plus some of the bonus things, because sometimes it's hard for a guy to buy a dedicated jig rod because you don't throw a jig all year, right? Maybe you're just dabbling. But when you find out that you can also throw an S-Waver and a mag draft on that same rod, maybe you can throw a Texas rig on that same rod. Now you're talking about a rod that can stay on the deck all year. So again, with whatever's left, we'll do that for you. And with that, tomorrow, we've been building this entire time for, it seems like a month, building our way to the ultra high-end combos, the enthusiast combos, if you will. Tomorrow is the culmination of the entire buyer's guide. We're really pumped for that. And with that, we will see you tomorrow. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you then.
See you guys.